Well, hello, everybody. My name is Berdita Monk. I live in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And you have been invited to this call by Miss Kimberly Brown, who is very excited about launching her business and just wanted to make sure that everybody she knew and cared about heard about this information firsthand. There are a couple other people, excuse me, on this call who may have invited you, so we apologize for the technical difficulties, but just speaking on behalf of Kimberly, I know that she's very excited to have you on the call. Let me introduce myself. My name is Berdita Monk, and my husband and I, got introduced to this information that you're about to hear a few months ago, back in November, when a friend of ours called us and told us that we had to meet him because he had something very important to give us. We really didn't know what we kind of knew what he was talking about, but he invited us to a call like this, and we heard him somebody talk about this little patch, real skinny little bitty patch, real tiny, about the size of a quarter. And so he said, "You got to meet me, you got to get these patches." Excuse me. And so it was really time sensitive because we were literally about to go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But he made it seem like it was urgent. So we met him. Long story short, we put these patches on. And the first thing that we noticed the very first night, we didn't know what to expect because we don't take any type of medications. We're pretty healthy individuals. But what happened was I slept so deeply that I just don't think in my whole life I recall ever sleeping like that. And then my husband, the way what happened with him was he stopped snoring. I mean, to the extent that it was just like a miracle, because he had been snoring very chronically for over 10 years, choking and coughing, things like that, very loud, sound like a bear. That's the way he was choked. That's the way he was snoring. So of course it got my attention. And then the next night, the same thing happened again. So we knew then it was not me. I mean, it was not my imagination. It was the patch. It was the patch. Now, I just gave you an example of a couple of things that has happened to us personally, but it's been more since then. But that's how we got started. But you're going to hear some things on this call tonight that will probably blow you away when you hear them. No exaggeration. And so I'm going to move on ahead because we've lost about 5 minutes and I want to value your time. So I want to pull up a slide just so that I can give you a little bit of education on this. And if everybody would stop their videos, I'd appreciate it because it's a little distracting on my end. Okay, thank you so much. So the big question of the evening is, have you ever been patched? Have you been patched? Well, if you have not been patched, you're going to be patched probably in the very near future because Kim or Ernie or Jeffrey or somebody or Kevin, somebody on this that invited you to this call is you're gonna be chasing them down to get one of these patches, just like my husband and I were chasing and responding to Ken Robinson's call when he told us he had some patches. So because these patches, you guys, are going to elevate you, reactivate your stem cells, and they're going to regenerate everything about your body. So why would you even want to apply a X39 stem cell activation patch? Let me give you a little bit of education in case you don't know. Are you familiar with stem cell injections? You probably remember Superman, Christopher Reeves, who was paralyzed and was waiting to get a stem cell injection. People who experience, chronic situations, critical situations that doctors say they can't do anything else to help them, cancer, ALS, things like that. Well, that's why people get stem cell injections, because they don't care. They are willing to pay $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, $100,000 just to get rid of this situation that is just bothering them to the extent that they are not living comfortably. And so, but here's the problem. Most people cannot afford those. Most people, they say that there is no guarantee that it will work. It's also no insurance. Insurance will not cover it. And so you're really taking a risk, because sometimes when you get those injections, number one, they may not work, and then it may cause some other problems. Well, these patches are non-invasive. They don't put anything into your body. I'll explain a little bit more about the patches in a moment, but that's why people are willing to put the patch on, because it's a better option than an injection. So here's the problem we are experiencing out there, you guys. As we age, our bodies heal slower. And therefore, it's like if you get arthritis, it's going to take you a long time to get rid of it, because you're getting older. See, by the time we're age 30, half of our stem cells are gone. They're dormant. And then by the time we're age 60, almost all of our stem cell activity is lost. And so therefore, we don't really have any, we need these patches, we need these stem cells to be reactivated. Well, it gets better, you guys. How does this patch work? First of all, the X39 is made up of organic nanocrystals. Right in the center are these little bitty tiny crystals. You can't even tell they're crystals, but they're real tiny, made in a lab, formulated in a lab, and they're made to elevate copper peptides that are already in your body. The copper peptide that I'm referring to is called the GHK copper peptide. It's a whole lot of studies out there, doctors have put out there. But this is considered the holy grail of anti-aging. Many high-end cosmetics have, they have copper peptides in them. They're very expensive. So here's what's the part that's so amazing and just phenomenal in my book, is that scientists said that there is no way that, even if you have elevated the copper peptides in your body, there is no way that your stem cells are going to be reactivated, because they said the more copper peptides that are in your body, the more the chances are your stem cells will be reactivated. But nobody knew how to do it. There was no way out there. They said there's no way it could be done. Guess what? It's done, because this company right here, LifeWave International, is a 19-year-old company. It had some wonderful patches that I'll tell you about in a moment, but for 19 years or 17 years, I'll say, the company went from 20 million a year up to 300 million a year in the last 3 years. And now we're at over 400 a year, and we've expanded to over 75 countries. And the reason we were able to do that was because of this patch. The X39 was created 2.5 years ago. Well, here's the genius, David Schmidt. He's the scientist that made all this happen. He stayed in his lab and did over 80 case studies for 10 years and $5 million. Do you see how much has gone into creating this patch? This is why the patch is so valuable. This man is literally a genius. He was literally hired and commissioned by the federal government, 20 years ago, to create something for the Navy SEALs as they were underground in this new submarine, and they needed something to keep them energized for 36 hours at a time. So he started his career creating an energy patch for them, and has been creating patches ever since. But it wasn't until 3 years ago when he created his masterpiece. This is literally the past masterpiece. Everything he's ever done in the past dwarfs compared to this patch. So he now has over 150 patents. It says 130 here, but over 150 patents. He is the 2-time recipient of the Advanced Technology Award of the International Hall of Fame. And he is the CEO and inventor. He's the CEO of LifeWave, and he's the inventor of the X39 patch. Now, the patch is patented. So for the next 17 years, no other company can market this product. And so what we have is not what you call a Me Too product, like most companies, where you can go and get weight loss or skincare or supplements. You can get those at Walmart or different places like that. But nobody has access to this patented technology, but you now have access to it. And we're going to show you how to have access to it. Now, let me tell you what you might experience once you put this patch on. Now, first of all, I want to say that we're not making any medical claims. We're not saying that this patch is going to heal, cure, or mitigate any diseases. What we are saying is that there is a frequency in this patch that when you apply it to your body, the heat of your body elevates the copper peptides and reflects off of those crystals. When that happens, a process called photobiomodulation takes place, and it elevates the copper peptides, in turn reactivating your stem cells. Now, we can compare that to something similar, like when we go out in the sun. You know, when we go out in the sun, the sun elevates our vitamin D, right? Well, that's the same thing that happens here, but there's no vitamin D floating around in the air. But for some reason, our vitamin D is elevated when we go out in the sun. That's the same thing that happens to our copper peptides when we put the patch on. Okay, so there's nothing going into your body. It's non-transdermal. It cannot interfere with medications. This is why we have so many physicians. See, for the first 17 years, there were mostly physicians that were part of this company. And all of a sudden, 2.5 years ago, people, ordinary people like you and me, have been having access to it. I was on the phone with a physician last night who she's selling these to her patients, not the whole 30-day supply, but she's selling these individual patches for $10 a patch. So she's selling a 30-day sleeve that we get for $100. She's selling them for $300 because she just wants her patients to try them. Guess that just lets you know these doctors are knowing this has been going on for years. The doctors are doing this. Now, these are the things that might happen to you when you put the patch on. You may get rapid pain relief, like my mother-in-law, who was rubbing her knee profusely, and she was taking pain medication and all kinds of ointments, and she needed knee surgery, but she was 92. She didn't want to do that. We put the patch on. She went to bed. The next morning, guess what? All the pain was gone, and it's been gone for, it was gone for 6 days while we were there in Milwaukee. But that's the kind of thing we mean when we say rapid pain relief. Reduced inflammation. Reduced inflammation contributes to most of the diseases within our bodies. It supports wound healing. Many people that have diabetes will experience a tendency to not heal very quickly. What their wounds what's causing their wounds to not heal very quickly. And then we've got energy and vitality and mental clarity. Those are my two favorites for me, because remember, I don't have pains and things like that, but I'm a very, very busy person. I need the energy. I need the mental clarity. I wasn't getting that based, before I started wearing the X39. Enhances athletic performance. That's the reason we've attracted so many professional athletes and just everybody, everyday type of athletes that work out. They are getting better performance. Faster recovery from exercise. You're not as sore when you exercise when wearing this patch, and improve skin appearance. So now let's look at this map right here. It's called a topography map. It reflects what happened when they put the patch on a 77-year-old woman. This is in one of the case studies. And when they put, this is her brain right here that we're looking at. In the first session, when they looked at her brain, excuse me, there was inflammation. The orange area reflects inflammation in the brain. There was very little stem cell activity because the light blue area reflects stem cell activity. And so there was lack of brain coherence. In session 2, which was 3 weeks later, no more inflammation. It's all gone 3 weeks later. And improved brain coherence. By the time session 3 came around, which was 6 weeks total, she had a complete turnaround. All this brain coherence. So as you age, the stem cells in your organs, including your brain, including your heart, liver, lungs, kidney, and skin, go dormant. And that's why we need something to restore our stem cells back, from being dormant. Now, let me tell you what happened in these case studies I referenced a little earlier. These are some of the long-term results that people experience. So these are actual results that people experience. The first few days, what happened? Over 4,000 genes began to reset. I know you all have heard people say that resveratrol, and you may not have heard that name before, but red wine is good for your heart and all that kind of stuff. Well, resveratrol only restores, which is the ingredient in red wine, only restores about 2 genes at a time. Well, we're getting 4,000 genes begin to reset just in the first few days. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. Okay, so the symptoms of PTSD, anxiety, and depression they start decreasing. But remember the previous page where I showed you the brain was unbalanced? That's why a lot of times people have anxiety, is because their brain's not balanced. This happens within 6 weeks. Within 3 months, the collagen begins to increase. The wrinkles start going away, ladies. I know y'all like that. Hair growth increases. The structural integrity of your skeletal and muscular system. See, as we get older, many times we get osteoporosis, which is where the bones are getting less dense. So lo and behold, if you were to fall, your bone may crack. That's why it's so important for us to increase the structural integrity of our skeletal and muscular systems. Within 6 months, our heart reverses in age. And in a recent study, 14 out of 15 lowered their vascular age by an average of 8 years after using X39 for 6 months. In a few moments, I'm going to introduce you to someone who's on this call who can tell you personally what happened to his heart after wearing this patch. And it didn't take 6 months. So this is not anti-aging, you guys. It is age reversing. Now, we really wouldn't have, I know you want more information. You want to know all about the studies. That's why you want to go to this site called Start X39, because we have a lot of physicians that really go to this site because it clarifies everything. It gives credibility to everything we're saying. There's just not enough time on this call to cover everything. So make sure you go to startx39.com to get all the information, the physicians' reviews, testimonial videos, so forth, so on. Now, how do you wear the patch? Well, you're going to wear the patch for 12 hours on and 12 hours off so that your body gets a chance to repair and rejuvenate. And you just throw it away. So what you want to do is you could put it anywhere on your body. I like to put mine behind my back on my C7 vertebrae because that is it's one of the places like they show here. But you can literally put it anywhere. They just show these two locations because those were the two locations they used in the case studies. They just needed to be consistent, but literally you can put it anywhere in your body. You want to make sure you drink plenty of water. That's the only thing that's required because your body will begin to detox, and you want your body to flush those toxins in your body. You want to flush them out. And so after 12 hours taking it off, throw it away. So 8 o'clock in the morning when you brush your teeth, 8 o'clock at night before you get ready to go to bed, throw it away. You're going to get 30 patches in this 30-day supply. Also comes in this will go inside of this beautiful packaging. And so that's you have 30 of them. You don't have to use the same one every day. Now, here's some just visuals of some of the things that happen to people, what they experienced when they were wearing the patch. This young man had acne, and look at what happened to him. They don't show how long he used it, but he looks much better. Look at someone's heels. I mean, I'm telling you, it's the craziest things that we experience with these patches. Look at this person's hand, how it's healed. This was a gentleman, I know this happened to happen in 24 hours. He had all this oozing, from his legs. I forget what kind of illness this has, but I do know his daughter who submitted this picture. And the very next morning, the oozing had stopped. And he had been to doctors for 6 months trying to get rid of that. This lady looks so much younger just after using the patch, and this man's hair started getting thicker. So once again, we're not trying to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or medication. So medical condition. But here's a gentleman that has a disease called vitiligo. I know you've heard of that. And look at all the light areas on his forehead, around his eyes, after just 90 days of wearing this patch. Look at his transformation. Many people wish they had access to this. So you see what we have our hands on, you guys? Sorry for my screen to keep doing that. So what I want to do, this is my favorite part, because I want you to hear from some real people that are on this call that have experienced this patch. So the first person I want to ask to come on is Mr. Ernie Coney, because he's only been wearing the patch for about a month now, but just in a matter of days, he experienced some wonderful results. Ernie, can you unmute yourself and start your video?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Yes, it's been about a month now. And what I noticed after a few days was that my energy level was so high, and my mental clarity, because before about 2 o'clock or whatever, I get that mental fog, and you want to take a nap or whatever. But it was just so clear, so crisp, And also, I also experienced it where I wasn't going to the bathroom all night long, and so it went down from like 3 or 4 times a night to one or maybe none, and I slept like a baby. I mean, it was just wonderful, wonderful. And I also had some people who had some testimonies too. Lady called me and said her sciatic situation was taken care of. She was almost in tears. She said she had a good night's sleep in months, but now with that patch, she can sleep all night and sleep like a baby as well. Back to you.
Wow, Ernie, thank you so much. I don't know if it was your internet or mine, but I know mine was probably a little unstable stuff.
Mine was fine. It looks like it.
Oh, Ernie, because I really had time out. I saw you and your energy. I mean, you were just a whole different person than when I first met you. It's unbelievable. So thank you for sharing, Ernie. You can stop your microphone. So I told you all that I had a special guest on the call, and I say he's special because this patch has literally changed his life. I hope he will inspire you when you hear him. His name is Mr. Jeffrey Payton. Jeffrey, can you please come to this call and bless everyone with your testimony? And unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. There you
Can
go.
you hear me?
I
All right.
certainly can.
First of all, congratulations to you and Harvey for your major historic accomplishment. I'm so proud of you guys, and thank you for having me on this Zoom call this evening. I want to go ahead and get started right into my testimony. A little over 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I had amazing spikes at 300 and above, well over 300. And I was walking around dopey all the time. So I felt like I was pretty much the way I was supposed to feel after being diagnosed. But the doctor put me on 4 insulin shots a day on a sliding scale, plus an additional insulin shot at bedtime. Now, as you know, diabetes is a very dangerous disease, and it was destroying my body without my even knowing the areas of attack that I was experiencing. Uh, Fast forward from that time, well, during that period, also my A1C had been spiking. Oh, it was around 12.1. But fast forward to 3 years ago, the type 2 diabetes led to a severe left side paralysis stroke. And I was unable to function as I had been functioning in the past, but it caused a complete left side paralysis, which affected my heart. And my heart function rate, which is called an ejection fracture, had dropped to only 15% function. Now, at, I was hospitalized and I was on life support. The doctors wouldn't let me go home without the pacemaker. Now, the doctor promised me that my ejection fracture or my heart rate would grow or would increase to 45%. Now, 45% function, that was something I was looking forward to, but it stayed there for so long. I plateaued for about a year. But I promised the doctors I would do everything that they told me to, which I did. But the doctor, in the meantime, put me on a 6-week visit program to him for an EKG. So each week I would come in for that EKG, and I would wait in the reception, I mean, not the reception area, but the examining room, wait for the results from my EKG. And each time it was the same story. Mr. Payton, you're doing fine. Your heart rate is functioning at 45%. Take your meds. We'll see you in 6 weeks. Okay. So I did just that. Then fast forward to Thanksgiving of 2022. My good friend Reggie Stewart brought me some patches. I trusted him. He knew what I was going through with my medical issues. So I put the patch on and wore it just like he instructed it. Where 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And immediately, only 1 hour after wearing the patch. See, when Reggie came, I checked my glucose and I was well over 300 on that day. But when he gave me the patch and I put it on, 1 hour later, it was time for me to check my glucose numbers again, and my numbers had dropped. I was down at 170. Now, my range is a low for a low is 75, and for a high is 250. So I didn't even think that it was the patch. So he gave me 3 days worth. I wore them just like he instructed. Fast forward, we go to this holiday party, and there's all this food around, and food and diabetes are not good friends. So the protocol for me when I just before I eat is to check my glucose, take my insulin, and then eat. Did none of the above. I simply ate, and I was a glutton that day because after that, by the time I finished putting a little of this and putting a little of that, my plate was about this tall. So in essence, I slapped my forehead and went, "Good Lord, I forgot to check my glucose." So I finally pulled out my continuous glucose monitor and I looked at my numbers, and you'll never guess, my numbers were at 122. Now, I was completely excited because, this was a eureka moment for me. I finally realized that it was the patch. And from that day to roll in reverse, again, my A1C was at 12.1. It's currently, or last time I went to my endocrinologist, it was at 8.1. So it's moving in the right direction. And let's go back to the story about my heart rate. Now remember, I'm on 6 week visits to my doctor. 6 weeks after starting the patch, it was time for me to go back to my doctor. I'm sitting in the same examining room, take down the results, but I just knew it was going to be the nurse bringing them in. But this time it was the doctor. And the doctor came in with his paperwork in his hand and said, "Jeff, I've got great news for you." I said, "Well, really, what is it?" He said, "Actually, your heart rate has gone from 45% function to 60% function." I said, "Oh, really? What does that mean?" He said, "Well, in layman's terms, your heart is now functioning without the help of the pacemaker or the defibrillator." I was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "In other words, I won't see you in 6 weeks. I won't need to see you now until February of 2024. Now, remember the case study that Birgitta mentioned a moment ago, 14 out of 15 people after just wearing the patch for just 6 months. Now, I'd only worn it for 6 weeks, and my injection fraction or my heart rate went to 15%. The doctors have reduced my medicines. I'm no longer, on 4 insulin shots a day. I'm now at a maximum of two, one at breakfast or one in the morning and one at bedtime. So this patch works. The miracle is truly in the patch. It's changed my life. And if it did something for me, it certainly do something for you. So I'll turn it back over to you now, Verdita.
Well, thank you so much, Jeffrey, for that powerful testimony. And I hope y'all got that, because so many people have diabetes, and it's a very serious disease. Just to be able to now hear your doctor say you are now operating, not relying on that pacemaker, that right there is amazing. And he literally, Jeffrey has told us that he got his life back. So Jeffrey, you can mute yourself, and Ernie, you can mute your line as well. Thank you all so much. And like I said, I told you all that you all were going to hear some amazing testimonies. And do you see what we're trying to do here? We're letting you know that we have our hands on something that is just going to change many people's lives. Okay. So let me ask you all a question. What's most important in your life? Is it family? For me and my husband, family is the most important. You want to be healthy for your family. You want to have time to spend with your family, but you don't want to be sick when you get old. When you want to get old gracefully. So family is one of the most important things on everybody's list. Time, freedom, being able to do the things you want to do when you want to do them. And I know this might sound subtle, but many people, they just don't have the ability to do that because of the restrictions of their job. Security. Now, I'm retirement age. I may not look retirement age, but I am retirement age. I'm like 60 something years old. And you know, this, I promise you, before we heard about this information, my husband and I were really concerned about what we were going to do about our security, our financial security, because we're self-employed. And you know, that's not the same thing as, you know, when you have a job and a retirement and all that kind of stuff. You don't have that. All you got is Social Security, but we don't know if Social Security is going to be around. So when we heard about this, this was a big concern. You get to, I mean, just being able to travel when you want, having better health and debt. Let me tell you something. What we're sharing with you right now can address all of this. It can definitely give you better health. And we're going to show you how to get less debt or no debt at all in the next few minutes. So I really want to ask you all to put your business hat on right now. I want you to put your business hat on one side, and I also want to put your servant hat, because as I told you, we're here to help people and to change people's lives. So let me tell you a little bit about the stem cell industry. You know, I already told you how people are getting injections, but this industry is becoming more and more popular because people are realizing the importance of stem cells. This is what makes us healthy, our stem cells. So this industry is expected to explode. It shows here that it's going from 200 million to 30 billion, but currently the stem cell industry is around 13 billion already, and they say within the next 5 years we should reach about 30 billion. So from a business standpoint, there's a trend that is taking place that you should be aware of. Now let me tell you what happens when you share this with people. We build two teams. We build a left team and we build a right team. And what happens when you purchase some of these patches that I'm going to tell you how to purchase them in a moment, you're going to be placed on, for example, Kim's left team or her right team. And every time Kim enrolls somebody, they have to fall under you. And there's somebody above Kim as well, that if they bring someone on board, if they purchase one of our packages that have these patches in them, they fall up under you as well. And it keeps happening. Next thing you know, you're going to see thousands of people that are under you. That's what happened to me and my husband. That's why we're no longer, concerned about our Social Security, or because that is what has blessed us, because of these patches. They work so well that it is spreading like wildfire. And let me tell you this, you can earn up to $25,000 a week in this way of pay alone, okay? Up to $25,000 per week. Now, also what happens is you get to earn matching bonuses on people that you refer this to. For example, Gloria referred her daughter Kim to this. As Kim, let's say that Kim earns $1,000 this week just in the binary alone, because there's more than one way of pay, but she makes $1,000 a week in the binary. Gloria will earn 25% of that, which is $250. Well, I know that Gloria is not just going to tell Kim about it. She might tell 20 other people. For each one of those people that Gloria shares this with, whatever they earn in that binary, she gets 25%. But then Kim turns around and shares it with some of her friends. And they each, let's say they each earn $1,000 a week. Kim will earn $200 every time those people earn $1,000, just in this matching bonus program alone. And there's no limit on how many people Kim is going to refer this to. And then those people refer to someone that will be Kim's second level. She will get 20% of those people. Actually, Kim's going to get 25% on the people she refer. Gloria will get 20%. And Gloria will also get 20% on her third level. Do you see where this goes? So, and it's encouraging us to share this with other people and to help those people come along. So it's unlimited how much we can earn. So let me tell you how you can get started. You can be a retail customer. That's if you just, say, I just want to try the product. They retail for $150, but guess what? That is, remember I told you the doctors are selling these for $10 each. They're selling these for $300 a package. Actually, our CEO said these are valued at $400 for a 30-day supply. So $150, you're getting a steal. But we got an even better opportunity for you. What if you could get 3 sleeves, 3 30-day supplies for $99 a piece? And so now you're paying $300 for a 90-day supply. That sounds like a much better deal to me. I always like to get the better deals because I buy things at wholesale. I'm an interior designer. And then the business builder is the person who, is really thinking big about helping several people. You want to have some of these patches, like our friend gave us some of these. You need, to be able to give people 5 samples so they can put it on their body and see what happens. And sometimes you get what we call, one patch wonders, like my husband, but it may take 2 or 3 days, or it may take a week before you see some things. Because like me, I didn't have to any type of illnesses or taking any type of medications. So it wasn't just going to jump out at me, that I got better energy. You can do that. But I'm saying that you want to give people patches, so therefore you need more inventory. This is for people who want to build, who really focused on building. Then the person who's a serious business building, because I'm the kind of person, everything I do it all the way. I have a very serious mindset. Me and my husband wanted to help a lot of people. And so we made a list of 25 couples and 25 individuals we knew. Guess what? If you put the numbers to that and give each one of those couples 10 of these patches so they can both experience it, and the individuals 5, you're going to find out that you're going to come up with 12 and a half sleeves. But because we both need to use the patches ourselves, stayed active in the company for 90 days. So we needed 6 more sleeves, that's 19 sleeves. But now we're only paying $84. See, now we're getting a better deal. So, there's other benefits from being a diamond. You make more money when certain, people join your team, some of the people that join your team. So there's many benefits to it. So consider that. If, that's everybody's different. If you came in with a builder package, you can always upgrade to the series builder. If you came up with a starter package, you can always upgrade to the business builder. You see what I'm saying? No penalty in the cost or the quantity. And then you just provide this information: your name, address, email address, date of birth, passport, because you're going to get a free website. All of that can be sent. This application can be sent to you via text or email, or you can go straight to Kim's link. But, just make sure she's there when you're doing it, because there's some little tweaks in it that somebody standing by while you're doing it, and that's information. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is very important for you to stay active on this patch. Why? Because you want to, number one, you want to give your body a chance to heal. Don't expect everything to turn around in 1 month when it took you years to get where you are. So 1 month, what would happen is, after you place your order, you want to stay on what we call an auto ship, a 1 sleeve per month. What that will do is you will get points. All these people, remember I told you about all these people falling below you? You won't even know these people. But guess what? You're going to get paid on everything these people order. You don't want your points to flush. And that's $99 a month for the 1 sleeve. Now, if you want to max out the compensation plan, we were able to do that immediately, not right off the bat with the with the diamond pack. But you want to max out the whole comp plan by getting 2 sleeves a month. That's what we suggest you do. But we'll work with you and explain all this stuff later. But I'm just letting you that auto ship subscription is a question that's going to pop up when you place your order. And so you definitely want to get back with Kim or whoever invited you to this call and see what's the best package for you. Just get in where you fit in. Now, we do have these beautiful envelopes that we can get for you so that you can put the patches in, and it has instructions on there that will, show you how to use the patch and tell you where to find more information on StartX 39. But you can also get them ordered through this website called build331.com. But this site is really where we go for our team building information, to how to build our team. Everything you need to know about this business is on that site. So the time is now, you guys, to make your move, and just say to yourself, am I serious about my dreams and goals? If you are, just think about what your options are. Do you really have any other options out there? We didn't, because we're self-employed, and we didn't want to put a lot of extra time and effort on our schedule working another job. We're too old for that. But guess what? Now we have the time freedom. We have the time freedom because we've helped some people. And as these people continue to use these patches, we get what you call residual income. See, residual income keeps coming every month after month after month, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what this is going to be this big wealth transfer, you guys. I promise you, there's going to be this big wealth transfer. And I know I've seen this picture before because my husband and I have been 7-figure income earners in this industry for a long time. I've seen a lot of things. This is it. Matter of fact, we just had a convention in Tampa, Florida called This Is It, because this is it. This patch is what we've all been looking for, that is changing life. You heard Jeffrey's testimony. So listen, I want to encourage you to get back with whoever invited you to this call, because they can get you started, and timing and positioning is everything, you guys, everything. My name again is Verdita Monk. I'm a senior presidential director, which just happened this past weekend, which is the top position in our company. Very glad to have shared this information with you this evening, where I encourage you to get back with Kim or whoever invited you to this call, and we'll get you started. Y'all have a wonderful evening.